Great, and we are now recording. So again, welcome. Very glad that you guys are here. For this particular J-term program, the travel dates will be January 2nd until January 11th, 2026. As I mentioned, on us today with this call is Dr. Azimi, who is an associate professor of marketing. Dr. Azimi is also the faculty leader for this program. So Dr. Azimi will actually be on site with you all in Panama should you decide to participate on the program. And then again, I am Bobby Wilson Jr. I'm the senior study abroad advisor that will help you kind of go through the application process for this program. With regards to what we're going to be discussing today, Dr. Azimi will lead a course overview and just kind of talk about what the course will be about, what you'll be learning. We'll then go over the program itinerary with you from start to finish, and we'll just point out some of the highlights of what you'll be doing in Panama. I will then lead some information on financial aid and costs, because obviously that's an important factor. And then we'll talk about eligibility, housing once you're on site, and then answer any questions that you guys might have. With that, I'll hand things over to Dr. Azimi, again, who is the faculty leader for this program, to kind of walk you guys through the course itself.
Thank you, Bobby. It's a pleasure to plan this program. I think this is a unique opportunity for students to involve in business consulting, apply what they learn globally, and have some sort of important impact because it is through working with disadvantaged communities in Panama. Of course, so it's a combination of getting global perspectives and using your business knowledge that you learned in class on site with these communities and working with these small businesses grow. So the course in terms of requirements for your major, if you are a marketing, management, or entrepreneurship majors, the course would serve as an elective for you. It counts as an elective. For other majors, business majors, it would fulfill global awareness requirement because you have that requirement if you're a business major. And for any other majors across LUC, that can serve as an engaged learning requirement. So it counts towards your degree. So a little bit about if on the next slide, I would give an overview of how this is going to work. It will be a marketing consulting for these businesses. The process would be, first of all, students will, the place that they stay would be close to this community of East Panama indigenous community for 5 days of their work period. So first of all, you get culturally, welcomed. And then afterwards, start talking to these businesses about their issues and problems and their needs, collecting as much data as you can through interviews. And afterwards, you do your job of researching for that specific type of business, what the needs are, what the situation is. And after doing all that research, it comes the marketing planning part that you provide them with a marketing plan, basically focused on any aspect of their business that needs more attention. If it is about deciding about their target market, it's about positioning of their business, it's about their pricing, whatever aspect that needs more attention, that you can identify that through their interviews. So you would focus on that. And then, of course, delivering that, presenting that to these clients, and we wrap up afterwards to have some excursions back in Panama City. So I think I jumped ahead in the itinerary, slide, which was a little bit ahead of this. So I think it's the next slide. Well, I think because of Panama, not only it's culturally very interesting, and this is, I think, a unique opportunity that many students who do study abroad may not necessarily have that. So I think if students want to add that to their resume, it's a big plus that they did such an impactful work and they applied what they learned in school globally, and also got familiar with this rich culture of Panama, and they visited interesting sites such as Panama Canal and so forth. Well, I'd be happy at the end to answer any questions, but so that's a, big picture of how this is going to work.
Great. Yes, this is what the itinerary dates look like. And so students will be leaving on January 2nd, departing from the US, with the official program date beginning on January 2nd. And then the consulting project will actually begin on January 3rd. And then as Dr. Azimi mentioned, you guys will be in East Panama working on the consulting project. And then on January 7th, we will all go together to Panama City, where we'll do some of the more like getting to know some of the tourist things that Panama has to offer as well. We'll be providing a more detailed itinerary. It usually gets sent out like 6 weeks before the program starts. So you guys will get the official itinerary in just in a couple more months. Some of the big just highlights of the program that we want to go over. Of course, consulting with underserved entrepreneurs on real business challenges. So actually applying the concepts that you all are learning as business majors into the real world. In addition, just creating marketing strategies that are going to be driving measurable community level impact. With regards to some of the highlights of what you guys will be seeing, as Dr. Azimi mentioned, you'll be visiting the Panama Canal, you'll be going to Nico's Beach, the Biomuseum, Monkey Island, and so much more. And you'll have many interactions with locals, which is also a really cool highlight about this program. And so anyways, there's lots of opportunities, lots of highlights that you guys will be doing when you're actually on this program. And if this is a course that you need, what a great opportunity instead of just, sitting in class the entire time. This is a mix of learning the concepts in class, but getting to apply some of these things in real life, which is obviously great for your resume, and just great for getting experience in your field. When it comes to the cost of the program, so if you do want to participate on this program, the first thing is you do pay Loyola tuition, the same way that you would pay Loyola tuition if you were to take a J-term course on campus. So regular Loyola tuition for this program. When it comes to the program fee, this program fee is $1,990. This program fee pretty much includes everything once you're on the ground in Panama. So it includes insurance for the program. It includes all of your meals, all of your in-country transportation once you guys are actually in Panama, excursions, all of the housing, all of like the community engagement activities that you're doing, classroom space. So your program fee is pretty all-inclusive. And then once you're in country, sometimes students want to spend extra thing on like souvenirs. Sometimes students want to get an extra coffee with their breakfast. So of course, if you want to do some of those things, that there is a little bit of extra funding or extra spending that you might want to consider, but the cost of living in Panama is much less than the cost of living in Chicago. And so typically students can expect to spend way less there than they would when they're here in Chicago. There's also a study abroad administrative fee, which is $200 for this program. So if you end up being accepted into the program, you would be responsible to pay the study abroad administrative fee. The only additional expenses you would want to think about is you would have to purchase your flight. The flight is not included in the program fee, so that would be an additional expense. And then, as I mentioned, some meals, like if you want some additional meals, those would not be included. And then some personal expenses. We put some transportation because like getting to the airport, if you're going to O'Hare, that's not going to be included because it's before the program officially begins. And then obviously if you don't have a passport, you need a passport to go to Panama. And so there would be a cost for that as well. I also linked a cost sheet. If you guys have not seen this already, if you go to the program brochure page, which is where you started your application, there's a tab called Finances. If you click on Finances, this is going to pull up a cost sheet. I feel like parents always have questions about costs. So this is where you would show them. When you see billable amounts, what you see under billable amounts is what will show up on Locus. So this includes a ballpark idea of what the tuition is, and it also includes the program fee. In addition, the study abroad administrative fee, as I mentioned, is also a billable amount. What you see under non-billable amounts, this is an estimated cost for things that are not going to be billed to Locus. So this is including your flight, your personal expenses, then if you have to apply for a passport. So if you have any additional questions about cost, this is a really good place to start. I'd also encourage you guys to talk to financial aid very early, because financial aid can just give you a better understanding of your financial aid package. So I'm going to just send their email address right now in the chat. lufinate@luc.edu. They're a really good resource if you have questions about your finances and how you can bring them with you on this program. As we're nearing the end of the presentation, there is some general eligibility stuff I want to make sure I run through you guys. There is a 2.5 GPA requirement to participate on the program. You also have to be a full-time Loyola student in order to be able to go. You also have to have completed at least 12 university credit hours before you're able to go. And so that's pretty much for everyone because when J-term comes around, you already will have completed hopefully 12 credit hours as long as you're currently a full-time student. You also have to be in overall good standing with Loyola to be able to go on the program. So, no holds on your account, no pending disciplinary charges, no academic charges, things of that nature. And then you have to have a valid passport to be accepted into the program, or you have to be able to upload a receipt that shows that you've paid for a passport or paid to renew your passport. And then the application deadline is October 1st for this program. So you want to get your application submitted before the 1st of October. And then if you guys just have any questions in general, you can feel free to reach out to Dr. Azimi or myself. Dr. Azimi obviously is more of the content expert, being an associate professor just in Quinlan. And I'm going to kind of be helpful more in like the process administratively of applying for this program. Were there any questions that you had, or Dr. Azimi, is there anything that I'm missing that you want to add to this?
No, I think this was wonderful. It's a great overview of how this program works and with enough details. I don't know if there are any questions. The only thing I wanted to add is that we are working with a nonprofit organization which has many, many years of experience on different types of disciplines and programs, including business. And they bring in, their all the experience that they worked with local communities in Panama, plus translation. So speaking Spanish is not a requirement, and I cannot personally speak Spanish. The second faculty advisor that we have on board, Karen Wigert, she speaks Spanish, but honestly, I was on a faculty visit and there was no need to because translation was really smooth and, pretty well. Yeah, overall, I think it's a fantastic opportunity. The culture immersion and visiting these communities by itself is a big learning experience. On top of that, applying your business knowledge in a consulting way is really fruitful from, educational standpoint. And then, of course, the fun part of that, Panama is a beautiful country. I had my visit last year. That was my first time there, and it was like awesome. So yeah, I'll be happy to answer any questions at this point, or if I don't know the answers, I refer those to Bobby to see if he can answer those.
All right. Well, if there's no additional questions, it was great to meet you guys. Thank you for being here, and we hope you end up submitting an application.
Thank you. It's great to have you here.